Let's get started. Hi, this is Michael Danielson. I'm a teacher at Seattle Prep. I'm also the president of Action for Media Education, a local media literacy advocacy group. And today we've got Dr. Dawn Schifrin, who is a longtime Eastside pediatrician for 40 years and a clinical professor of pediatrics at University of Washington School of Medicine. He is quoted in print and on radio and TV as a spokesperson on the impact of media and toddlers through the teen years for the American Academy of Pediatrics. So welcome, Dr. Dawn. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
It's great to be with you and to discuss a obviously very important topic to teachers and parents.
Exactly. So we're going to go through a variety of questions and basically have a conversation about this important topic. I know parents are really kind of stressed out and distracted right now, trying to figure out the best way to parent in this pandemic. So there's a number of challenges besides those that are just here every day because of the media. Now we've got all this extra stress helping parents to manage their kids' lives and their own lives with regard to all this media. What are you telling parents these days to give them some tips about how to cope with this?
Well, first of all, I want to thank all the parents that are joining us today. They're obviously concerned, as well they should be. And if I had one word to describe all this disruption to our lives, I would choose the word overwhelmed. We have multiple pandemics occurring: the pandemic of coronavirus, the infodemic of all this information and misinformation, the resultant national parenting pandemic. I'm calling this the new abnormal. The social isolation, persistent threat of illness, and just the tremendous isolation of being at home. This new abnormal has us all feeling unsafe and uncertain. The result is our emotions have multiplied sort of exponentially. There's no species on Earth more anxious than humans, because we have the ability, and I might add the curse, to imagine a very dark future, and that one of the worst things that could happen to us is now happening. So naturally, our parenting decisions, our individual decisions are all fraught with anxiety, more guilt, and more uncertainty. That's not a good trifecta. And what kind of risks are we willing to take for ourselves or for our children, for our school, for our community? Can we visualize even a reasonable course of action when we're unsure about how much risk is safe, both personally in terms of infection and, of course, for screen time? And how can we weigh the possible educational and emotional and psychological needs of our children with the potential consequences? At the same time, how do we explain this to children who are basically missing pretty much everything in their lives? But there's a paradox here. We're the most capable, resourceful, and resilient species on Earth. We're really good at adaptation. And I have great confidence in parents that they can stay present in this crisis to maintain their ability to create reasonable solutions and provide the safety, physically and emotional safety and security and economic stability to their families. I want to just say to parents that more than ever, you are your family's first responders. And I don't want you to underestimate your parental strengths to face this crisis. From what I can tell, while infectious disease science is telling us how to be a responsible individual, there's no national consensus on how to be a responsible, effective parent. And we're going to talk about how the rules or recommendations are somewhat useless now in terms of where we are isolated at home. We can lament how hard or hopeless it is, or we can network and improvise and pledge to find creative compromises. So I think that that's a really my overview of this conundrum that we find ourselves in, where parents now have the role of teacher and homework helper 24/7 at home in many cases. Again, the idea is that we can now talk about where we are in terms of, shall we say, technology in our homes.